The Palatine by John Greenleaf. Whittier. Leagues north, as fly the gull and auk, Point Judith watches with eye of hawk. Leagues south, thy beacon flames, Montauk. Lonely and wind-shorn, wood forsaken, with never a tree for spring to waken, for tryst of lovers or farewells taken, circled by waters that never freeze, beaten by billow and swept by breeze. Lieth, the island of Manisees, set at the mouth of the sound to hold the coast, lights up on its turret old, yellow with moss and sea fog mould. Dreary the land when gust and sleet at its doors and windows howl and beat, and winter laughs at its fires of peat. But in summertime, when pool and pond, held in the laps of valleys, fond, are blue as the glimpses of sea beyond, when the hills are sweet with the brier-rose, and, hid in the warm, soft dells, unclose flowers the mainland rarely knows. When boats to their morning fishing go, and, held to the wind and slanting low, whitening and darkening the small sails show, then is that lonely island fair, and the pale health-seeker findeth there the wine of life in its pleasant air. No greener valleys the sun invite, on smoother beaches no seabirds light, no blue waves shatter to foam more white. There, circling ever their narrow range, quaint tradition and legend strange live on unchallenged, and know no change. Old wives spinning their webs of tow, or rocking weirdly to and fro in and out of the peat's dull glow, and old men mending their nets of twine, talk together of dream and sign, talk of the lost ship Palatine, the ship that, 100 years before, freighted deep with its goodly store, in the gales of the equinox went ashore. The eager islanders one by one counted the shots of her signal gun, and heard the crash when she drove right on. Into the teeth of death she sped. May God forgive the hands that fed the false lights over the rocky head. O men and brothers! What sights were there! White upturned faces, hands stretched in prayer. Where waves had pity, could ye not spare? Down swooped the wreckers, like birds of prey tearing the heart of the ship away, and the dead had never a word to say. And then, with ghastly shimmer and shine over the rocks and the seething brine, they burned the wreck of the Palatine. In their cruel hearts, as they homeward sped, the sea and the rocks are dumb, they said, there'll be no reckoning with the dead. But the year went round, and when once more along their foam-white curves of shore they heard the line storm rave and roar, behold! Again, with shimmer and shine, over the rocks and the seething brine, the flaming wreck of the Palatine. So, haply in fitter words than these, mending their nets on their patient knees they tell the legend of Manisees. Nor looks nor tones a doubt betray, it is known to us all, they quietly say, we too have seen it in our day. Is there, then, no death for a word once spoken? Was never a deed but left its token written on tables never broken? Do the elements subtle reflections give? Do pictures of all the ages live on nature's infinite negative, which, half in sport, in malice half, she shows at times, with shudder or laugh, phantom and shadow in photograph? For still, on many a moonless night, from Kingston Head and from Montauk light the spectre kindles and burns in sight. Now low and dim, now clear and higher, leaps up the terrible ghost of fire, then, slowly sinking, the flames expire. And the wise sound-skippers, though skies be fine, reef their sails when they see the sign of the blazing wreck of the Palatine. A fitter tale to scream than sing, the bookman said. Well, fancy, then, the reader answered, on the wing the seabirds shriek it, not for men, but in the ear of wave and breeze. The traveler mused, your Manisees is fairyland. Off Narragansett shore whoever saw the isle or heard its name before. 'Tis some strange land of flyaway, whose dreamy shore the ship beguiles. Street Brandon's in its sea mist gray, or sunset loom of Fortunate Isles. No ghost, but solid turf and rock is the good island known as Block, the reader said. For beauty and for ease I chose its Indian name, soft-flowing Manisees. But let it pass. Here is a bit of unrhymed story, with a hint of the old preaching mood in it, the sort of sidelong moral squint our friend objects to, which has grown, I fear, a habit of my own. 'Twas written when the Asian plague drew near, and the land held its breath and paled with sudden fear.